and we're back with the Better Life Show. On our show now, we have Bob Cooper. He's a team member at Robbins LLC.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you for being on the show.
It's an honor and pleasure to be here.
If you could, before we get into talking about what is a leader, tell us about yourself.
Yes, my name is Bob Cooper, and I transferred down here from Ohio about 3 years ago to beautiful Muscle Shoals. And I work for Robbins LLC, a hex pole company.
Okay.
And Robbins has had a presence in the community for 97 years now.
Wow.
And of course, we are owned by a company called Hex Pole. Hex Pole Compounding is one of the largest custom rubber mix manufacturers, and we have facilities throughout the entire world, so we do have a global presence. And one of the greatest things about Hex Pole is the culture of Hex Pole. And I can most certainly tell you that I would not be who I am today if it wasn't for the investment in me through Hex Pole, because the culture of Hex Pole is how do you grow your business or how do you grow your organization, and you do that by growing your people. And you know, through Hex Pole, we don't hire people for just labor. We don't hire people for their backs. We hire people for their minds, because people development is a standard practice of Hex Pole culture. You know, we invest in our people, we believe in our people, we want our people to grow, we want our people to learn, because that's the future of our business and the future of our company. You know, there's a funny saying, and it goes like this. It says, what if we invest in our people and they leave? Well, what if you don't invest in your people and they stay? So you have to think about that.
That's very good.
Because there are two main things that can really hurt a company. And number one is unmanaged friction, and number two is disconnect from your people. So if you're not investing in your people, you have no depth in your company. You know, where's the future of your organization going to lie? And how does Hex Pole invest in people? And it's very simple. We do it through leadership and leadership training.
Okay, very good. And I'm so glad to hear a company who believes in that, because as your people grow, then that helps productivity, they help morale at the company, and then the company grow. So that is so good to hear that you all do all those things. And as you're talking about developing people, who are some people that have influenced you?
You know, some of the main people that have influenced me in my life through leadership training is definitely going to be Mr. John Maxwell.
Yes.
And Hex Pole is very, very driven in John Maxwell training, which encompasses all aspects of life. When you talk about leadership, it's not something that's just for yourself. It's for other people. It's not for work. It's not just for a career. It encompasses your home life, your community, and everything that you do.
Okay. And how do you all grow people? You was talking about y'all grow people. What are some things y'all do to grow people?
All right, so let's talk about this key word that we have. Let's talk about leadership, okay?
Okay.
Well, by simple definition, it's the action of leading a group of people or an organization. But that really doesn't tell us much, okay?
Okay.
So we have to get a little bit deeper than that.
Yes.
And then there's one word that's always influenced me a lot in my life by John Maxwell, and he summarizes leadership in one word. Leadership is influence.
When you say influence, tell us, what is influence?
Okay, so what influence is, it is the capacity to have an effect on the character or behavior of someone.
Yes, that is good. Because when you have influence, it's going to change the person's life, or like you say, have an effect on them. Elaborate a little more on that.
Well, exactly, because when you think about leadership, and when you think about influence, there's very few people are born leaders. But leadership is actually, it's an acquisition of skills that can be learned or sharpened to become an effective leader and become a better person overall. Okay.
That's good. So by sharpening, what are some ways y'all sharpen people's skills?
Well, the first thing you have to ask yourself when it comes to personal growth or wanting to change your life, you know, is leadership. It starts with you, and you have to honestly ask yourself: are you willing to change, and are you willing to grow? And do you have the willingness? Do you have the desire? Do you have the attitude to want to change and grow yourself? Many people do want to grow, but they fall into what's called a common misconception, which is the knowledge gap. Many people do want to grow, but they don't know how to get there. And then as a result, some people may grow, and it may be for the better, it may be for the worse. But the true answer here is if you want to personally grow yourself and become a better person, you have to have what's called a growth plan.
Okay. So tell us what a growth plan is.
Well, what a growth plan is, it starts with you, because you are the only person that can determine where you want to go and where you want to grow in life.
Okay.
And so you have to be intentional about developing a growth plan, and you have to be honest with yourself and dig deep down inside yourself to get to know yourself. And then there's 5 core basics that I'll give you guys that helps start a personal growth plan.
Okay.
And it goes, number 1 is attitude, number 2 is goals, 3 is discipline, 4 is measurement, and 5 is consistency.
Okay, that's good.
And
Say it one more time, because I want to make sure our audience get those. Those are good.
Yes, the 5 core basics of personal growth starts with attitude, goals, discipline, measurement, and consistency.
Okay.
Now, there's a reason why attitude is at the very top of that list. Because attitude encompasses every aspect of your life, because attitude is an inward feeling expressed by outward action.
Yes.
So developing and training yourself to have a growth plan for attitude is definitely one of the key rules of starting on a personal growth.
So if a person have a negative attitude, it's going to come out.
Exactly, exactly.
If they have a positive attitude, then it's going to come out in the way they work and just how they affect people. So that's good.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, keep going.
So once you start working on these core basics of what leadership is and what personal growth is, it leads you into many other areas that you can study and that you can learn about leadership. Because once you start to learn about yourself, it'll help you understand and develop other areas that you need to grow in to become a better person.
Okay.
And then, so when you talk about leadership, you're being very disciplined about being intentional about growing yourself. Okay, so you're working on yourself. And then you have to ask yourself, okay, well, what's the payback of all this leadership stuff that they talk about, okay? So you have to think about it like this. When you personally grow yourself and be intentional about growing yourself, it doesn't guarantee you anything. It doesn't guarantee you a raise. It doesn't guarantee you a promotion or moving up the ladder or anything like that. But there's one thing that you do get out of it.
Yes.
And it's priceless and it lasts forever, and that is quality of life.
That's good.
And quality of life is better for yourself.
It is.
And it also impacts those around you.
That is true. And it's so important that you invest in your own self, because then that makes you a better person. And then, like you said, then you have a better quality of life. So that's good.
Exactly. And then, at the end of the day, it all comes down to people. And because, you have to think about it like this. 99% of this world is made up of other people. So when you truly invest in yourself and want to grow yourself, you pay it forward to other people.
That's good.
You teach them what you have learned, because you cannot take anybody farther than you have gone yourself.
That's true.
And what we're trying to do is we're not trying to place limits on people's potential in life, because we want to believe in people. We want to inspire people. We want to motivate people, because what we're doing overall is we're creating a winning team together.
That's good. And then I like the fact that also what you all are doing affects the job, but then it also is going to go back and affect the home. Maybe it's a husband or wife. If they invested in themselves, then that's going to affect their family. That's going to affect the community. That's going to affect the church. So that is so good that y'all believe in y'all people so much that you want them to have a good quality life.
Exactly, and that's what life is all about. Life is all about quality of life and inspiring those around you and having influence on those around you to want to change themselves and become better people overall, because if you think about it, it's a compounding effect. You grow yourself to grow others. They grow themselves to grow others, and so on and so on and so on, and the payback is just quality of life for everybody.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm so glad that you all are doing this. Is there anything else that you want to share with our viewing audience?
Yeah, I would just like to say, thank you for the opportunity, because it's an honor and pleasure to be able to speak here today on behalf of myself and what Hexpol has invested in me. And it's a great company and a great organization, and we will always continue to inspire and influence other people to want to learn and grow to create a better atmosphere for everybody.
Excellent. Well, once again, we appreciate you being on the show.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much. And we'll be back after this commercial.